Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. I gotta say it, just the mere fact that you've clicked onto this video and you're listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. I want to tell a personal story that has happened as of this week. And it revolves around mortgage. Yes, mortgages. If you have a home, you know about this. Let's talk about it. If you're looking to have a home one day, you need to listen to this very clearly and carefully. As of this week, I get a letter from our mortgage lender, and they state that our mortgage is going to be increasing by a substantial amount. And the increase was alarming. And so I called the lender. I said, why is this increase so high? The lender mentioned to me that due to escrow, they underpaid, and therefore they needed to rectify the situation moving forward into 2025, into 2026, to make the payments necessary for things such as state taxes and PMI, which is an insurance that you must get. PMI is a mortgage insurance that you must get if you do not put 20% down on your home. So some people don't have to go through this, but many people go through getting a mortgage with PMI attached to it. PMI is a part of the system that protects the investor. In our case, it happens to be Freddie Mac. In your case, it may be another investor. So anyhow, after reaching out, finding out that the state taxes have gone up slightly, the alarming part was the PMI. The PMI had increased by $950. I live in the state of North Carolina. So I'm on the phone, I'm talking to the lender, and the lender's like, hey, what you can actually do is you can shop around for another insurance provider. That's a no-brainer, obviously. Who wants to pay more when they can obviously pay less? So what I did, I got as much information as I could from the lender. They gave me all the particular details about shopping around, make sure that the insurance matches what we currently have, etc. But I needed to make more sense of this. So I said to myself, let me actually call the insurance company that we are currently with and see if we can actually get something shaved off, see if we can actually save some money with who we are currently with. So I made the call to the insurance provider, and essentially, long story short, there was no way to save any money. But I did get some important information in that the insurance provider stated that our lender was going based off of 2024 numbers as it pertains to insurance, and that the renewal for our insurance is actually going to be coming up in July in the state of North Carolina, and that this renewal may actually increase our insurance once again, which would increase our mortgage, or we can make a call to the insurance provider during that renewal time and possibly get significant discounts given that it's the renewal period for our mortgage insurance. Now, this was very interesting because it gave me a clear picture of how the mortgage insurance process works along with the lender. But it's unfortunate to realize that you budget every month and you do what's necessary to make sure that your budget is within a window of being able to take care of what you need to take care of as a household, but then also saving. And look, my wife and I, we have 3 children. So every dollar matters. And so the increase, not being small, was an issue. But I recall reading a couple days ago that the mortgage insurance in many states was actually going up 50%. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I want to say what I learned from the mortgage insurance company that I'm with, and what I talked about earlier in the year, which is how the natural disasters that have been taking place, the California fires, the Asheville disaster, the disaster that we see in the Midwest, how companies were going to find ways due to these natural disasters to increase the premiums for everyone across the nation. It was apparent to me that other families going through unfortunate situations, but at the same time living in some of the most beautiful places in America, because of the value of those homes and the cost to rebuild, and how companies have to fit the bill, but that money essentially comes from all of us who are insured paying into a pot, that I knew our insurance was going to be going up. But I didn't anticipate it going up that much. But hey, this is America, and we understand that companies are always finding ways to extract more money from individuals who truly can't afford it. Or even if you can't afford it, who wants to pay the crazy amounts of money that you're being charged? But anyhow, what I learned, and this is important, if you have a mortgage, and you might have forgotten this, because it's easy to forget it. You're paying your mortgage, your insurance is attached to it, your state taxes are attached to it, all these different things. What I learned is that, or at least what I remembered, correction, is that once you reach 20% and above in equity of your home, you can actually cancel PMI. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, it's been achieved in my household. We've actually surpassed the 20% of equity in our home. So now I'm going to be going through the process of actually canceling PMI. And you want to know who told me that I could now cancel it? No one, not the insurance, nor the lender. And when I called the lender, they told me that the insurance, based off of the loan amount, you're looking at by such and such date, which was years out, that you'd be able to cancel it. But this is what I want to put you on game about. If you purchased a home and you've been paying your mortgage, the loan to value is how it's determined how much equity you have in the home. Now, that loan to value is going to be based on the loan amount that you took out from your lender. But guess what? Every year, your county is going to send you a property tax value, an estimated value of your property, which is likely, if you're in a good situation, which is likely that it's more than the actual loan amount that you took out. And therefore, you could use that number to know your potential loan to value and see how much equity you have in your home. But it doesn't stop there. Depending on your lender and your investor, as I mentioned, is Freddie Mac for us, you may be able to just take that property tax value and get your PMI canceled. But typically they want it to be, not want it to be, but it's typically going to be a lot more tedious than that. Essentially, what we're going to have to do is get an appraisal on our home and then submit that. And then they say, oh, your home is at this value, and therefore you have this much equity in the home based off of how much you have remaining on your loan. And yes, we can now cancel PMI. And it's so interesting because no one reminded us reminded us of this, nor did anyone mention the reality of that is a step that you would take to get it canceled instead of going off the initial loan balance that you took out. So once we get the appraisal done, we can submit that, and we're looking at probably 60 to 90 days before the PMI is canceled. But that's incredible because once the PMI is canceled, our mortgage now goes down. And now the state taxes every year, those increase, but it's minimal compared to a 950 increase in insurance. So I wanted to tell this personal story about if you're in a similar situation where your mortgage is increasing every year, be mindful that if you have the PMI, there's something you can actually do about it. So pay attention and get it done if you have the opportunity to do so. But anyhow, I didn't really want to keep you guys long. I really wanted to tell that personal story. You know, as it pertains to home ownership, so many people want to do it. It's expensive now. It's not going to get any cheaper because even with the interest rates, many people, as I mentioned earlier, aren't able to put down a 20%. So you're going to have PMI nonetheless, and that's going to increase year over year. Because even when I was talking to the mortgage insurer, they were saying that due to the natural disasters and the potentiality of North Carolina experiencing severe storms, that they had to go up on the insurance because of how much it costs, that if our home was destroyed, how much it would cost for the materials to build it over again. So we're experiencing a lot over and over in this country regarding pricing and how to stay afloat. And as I've mentioned before, everybody's waiting on a housing market crash. And what I'm seeing is there's not going to be a housing market crash, but there is going to be just an ever increase of how much it is to afford a home. It's going to become more and more out of reach, or home builders, these companies are going to find more and more creative ways to lock you into the debt. But they're going to make their money. People need homes. And wealthy people want to buy as many homes as they possibly can to rent those out and make income. So it's a never-ending cycle. But I had to come to you and tell you this personal story about something that is going on in a lot of homes in America as we currently speak. Because as I mentioned, 50% increases in some states as it pertains to PMI. That's not a small amount of a change. That means some people right now in their homes, you're looking at $200 and $300 and $400 and $500 more a month on your mortgage. And some people can't afford that. So it's something to be mindful of. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're going and looking for a home, definitely try to put down as much as you possibly can so you can actually not have to worry about PMI, or you can get to your equity of 20% or more sooner. But anyhow, please share your thoughts in the comment section. Whether or not you've experienced this, or you know someone who's experienced the issue of their mortgage increasing year over year. Did you have PMI? Did you get it canceled? Did you never have it? And you pay cash for your home, and so you're just well off, and great for you. I'm excited for you. But for the rest of us who are normal people, you know, maybe buying our first home or whatnot, everybody can't be in that situation. So anyhow, please share your thoughts on this. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, until next time.